Hey everyone, Romeo here, a fellow Spanish language learner. In today's video, I want to talk about something that I've already shared on this channel before and that I still completely believe today. Almost nobody living in the United States actually needs to learn Spanish. There are only really a few exceptions to that. I've met bilingual parents who never taught their own children Spanish. Think about that for a second. Even people who speak Spanish don't always build a life where Spanish naturally becomes part of their children's everyday life. That tells me something. Speaking the language and needing the language aren't the same thing. But there are situations where Spanish can become necessary. Maybe your job requires it. Maybe you're married to someone whose family speaks Spanish. Maybe you're planning to move to a Spanish speaking country. Those are compelling reasons because only then does learning Spanish naturally become part of the life that you're already living. But for most people, Spanish is a hobby. And I don't mean that as an insult. Spanish is a hobby for me too. The difference is that I already know exactly how I'm going to use it. But the real question is, how are you going to use it? Before you answer that, I want you to think about something. Think about your average weekday. You wake up, you get ready for work, you may drive to work, you spend most of your day talking to the same coworkers you probably talked to hundreds of times before, and maybe you stop somewhere to grab some lunch. Maybe you go to the grocery store. Maybe you go to the gym after work. Then you head home. Now, ask yourself this. Outside of your coworkers and the people that you live with, how many conversations do you actually have in English with people that you don't already know? I mean, like strangers. Not asking someone where the bathroom is, not ordering a coffee. I mean, an actual conversation. One where you ask questions, one where you learn something about another person, one where you walk away thinking, that person was pretty interesting. How often does that actually happen? For a lot of people, not very often. Think about the gym. Most people even have headphones on. Think about the grocery store. Most of us use self checkout, or if we're not using self checkout and we use regular checkout, we're not talking to the cashier. Think about waiting at the airport. People aren't looking around anymore, they're looking down at their phones. Even in our own native language, many of us don't spend much time talking to people that we don't already know. So here's the question. If that's already how you live your life in English, do you think learning Spanish is suddenly going to change that? Do you think you're going to become someone who starts conversations with strangers just because you know another language? Language doesn't change your personality, it amplifies it. For me, I genuinely enjoy talking to people. If I'm sitting on a plane, I'm usually talking to the person next to me. Not because I have to, because I'm curious. If I'm in an Uber, I'm asking a driver about where they're from, how long they've lived here, what they think about the city. When I'm traveling, I'm talking to bartenders, hotel staff, barbers, taxi drivers, servers, pretty much anyone who's willing to have a conversation with me. I like hearing people's stories. I like learning how other people think, and therefore I talk to them a lot. That's who I already am in English. Spanish didn't create that. Spanish simply allows me to do that with an entirely different group of people. It lets me have conversations that I otherwise couldn't have. That's why I continue studying every day. Not because I need Spanish, but because I already know the kind of life that I want to live with it. So before you commit hundreds of hours to learning Spanish, before you spend money on another app, another course, another tutor, or even structured recall, ask yourself, what am I actually going to do with Spanish once I know it? Be honest with yourself. Can you actually picture yourself using it? Can you picture the conversations? Can you picture who you're going to talk to? In fact, don't even picture it. Do you think you're going to do it? Or does learning Spanish simply sound like a good idea? Because those are two very different things. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn Spanish. There are cognitive benefits. There are travel benefits. There are cultural benefits. There is personal satisfaction in learning something difficult. Hobbies don't have to make money. They don't have to be productive, and they don't even have to be practical. But I do think they should fit the life that you actually want to live. And that's the question I want you to think about. Who are you in English? Because there's a good chance that's exactly who you'll be in Spanish. The language won't change you. It will simply give the person that you already are another way to communicate. Now, can saying this make some viewers actually quit learning? Maybe. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I've always tried to be honest on this channel, even when honesty isn't the best marketing strategy. I'd rather you decide today that Spanish isn't worth a year or more of your life than spend that year chasing an idea that doesn't actually fit who you are. But if after asking yourself those questions, you still want to learn Spanish, then welcome. I think you're pursuing something incredibly rewarding because the person who can honestly say that they have a compelling reason to learn the language is the person who will continue showing up when they realize just how large the language is and how long they still have to go. Anyway, if this video made you think a little more about your why, be sure to give the video a like. And until the next video, if you're still willing to commit to learning Spanish, good luck on your journey to building more usable, functional Spanish. Peace.